Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from theuptrend.com. Well, yesterday at this time, stock index futures were all pointing lower. This morning, they're all pointing higher. We also have gold, crude oil, and Bitcoin trading up on Wednesday morning. Now, one stock in the news this morning is Bank of America. We had a bunch of financial earnings yesterday. Bank of America is out with earnings. It's trading higher in the pre market. That's helping put the a bid into the futures contracts. Now, we talked about volatility expansion, and when we talk about the VIX moving up, that's one, they call that volatility, but what we're actually talking about is price volatility. And if you think the market is being thrown around like a pit bull with a stuffed animal, you're absolutely right, and that's what we expect at this time. Now, yesterday we traded down to the previous low from Friday and bounced off that low. And so we're looking to see if we can break out of Friday's range. And so far, the low is holding. So is the 50-day moving average. And that's something everybody's going to be watching for. Now, yesterday we had NVIDIA lead the NASDAQ lower. It is trading higher in the pre-market this morning. So is Tesla, but probably not enough to generate new buy signals for either of those. So with Nvidia trading down yesterday, that put a little downward pressure on the Nasdaq. But again, we bounced off Friday's low, and so we are putting in a range here, looking for a breakout of that range. Now, the Dow was actually up yesterday, and that was had a lot to do with Walmart. Walmart getting involved in AI and a big move up for that stock. So, anybody who puts AI in a press release gets a financial benefit at this time. Now, the TSX ended the day up over 500 points, huge reversal from Friday. And of course, the TSX was closed on Monday for the holiday. What worked? Well, it was materials. What didn't work was communication services and energy. And with crude oil continuing to move lower, it is up a little in the pre market this morning. That put downward pressure on energy stocks, which we saw in the US on Monday, and some fall through to the downside on Tuesday. Now, of the major sectors of the Canadian stock market, it was materials was the big winner yesterday. Of course, when in the material sector, you've got all the global mining stocks and all the global gold stocks, and they both moved up nicely on Tuesday. Now, the price of gold continued to move higher yesterday. It is heading towards our next price target. In the pre-market this morning, we're trading up right around $4,200, so up another $59 in the pre-market this morning. Now, while gold stocks make up a large percentage of the Canadian stock market, it was the uranium companies that had the best gains on Tuesday. There's Cameco up nearly 8%. We've got Energy Fuels up just under 30% on the day. And then we've got Denison Mines up over 11% on Tuesday. Now, we talked about financials yesterday morning as we were seeing a lot of earnings on Tuesday. We're getting more earnings this morning. We talked about Bank of America earlier. So financials were up a little over 1% on Wall Street. It was the bank stocks that really made some gains on Tuesday, with the major banks up a little over 3% and the regional banks up a little over 3%. So in both cases, we traded up to the upper channel line and stopped. And with what's happening with Bank of America this morning, there's a pretty good possibility we could end Wednesday on buy signals for both of those ETFs. Now, some of the stocks we looked at yesterday morning, there's BlackRock making a nice big move up, making a new high, back on a buy signal. We've got Citigroup back on a buy signal, but no joy for Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan. On the other hand, we had Wells Fargo, which had a huge move up on Tuesday, certainly back on a buy signal as of Tuesday's close. I would imagine it's going to top out at the recent high in September. Looking at the TSX most actives, it's Bitfarms was the most actively traded stock, up over 40% yesterday in Toronto. Now, it was the most actively traded stocks on both sides of the border on Tuesday. Looking at Canadian Natural Resources, unfortunately going down with the energy sector. TD Bank came back into the channel, so after generating a buy signal on Friday, back in the channel on Tuesday. Then B2 Gold making a new closing high for this move on Tuesday. No joy for TC Energy, still on a sell signal. Looking at the U.S. most actives, there's Bitfarms up on Wall Street as well. Remember, it was traded up on Monday in New York, but was not trading in Toronto on Monday. NVIDIA was down yesterday. We talked about that. It's trading slightly higher this morning. There's Plug Power moving up on Tuesday, Big Bear moving up, Rigetti moving higher, and we had a new high for Lithium America on Tuesday. Tesla, almost an inside day on Tuesday, no change there. It is trading higher in the pre-market on Wednesday morning. Last up this morning, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin was down yesterday. It's up a little in the pre-market. So all the bull ETFs look very similar. And of course, the bear ETFs going in the opposite direction. Now, when we look at the individual stocks in the crypto sector, most of them are doing very well at the moment, except a couple of the big cap ones. We've got Coinbase on a sell signal right now, and we've got Strategy on a sell signal at the moment. Everybody else is holding up fairly well at this time. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, it looks like the market wants to do a little bit of buying on Wednesday morning. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Thursday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.